Build powerful pals from early to mid-game. If you're a beginner, don't miss this. By the end of this guide, you'll know exactly where to start. First, I recommend a great value combat pal. It's the pal shown here. Its passive gives it life steal, and even without perfect rainbow passes, it can solo a level 35 boss at the same level to demonstrate its combat power. You don't actually need to force every fight solo. At level 50, it can even take down a level 60 boss. That should tell you how strong you can encounter this pal randomly in early game. If you can't find one, you can get it through breeding, and it only takes one breeding step. If you watched my previous video, you should already know how to get the first parent. Then just get the second required pal. Breed these two pals together. Ideally, one parent and the other should carry the passive you want. Put one male and one female in the breeding you have. It can produce 2 eggs at once. Improves efficiency. Combine that, you can get an additional egg setup I mentioned earlier, with a chance for an alpha egg that massively speeds up the process. A few breeding cycles are enough. Remember to prioritize an alpha offspring, because its stats can be better if the roll passes are good. You can adjust them later with the right system. In the small settlement, you can buy certain passive skill implants. Other high-tier implants can be purchased from merchants near the arena. You'll need the required currency to buy them. For the mid-game, this is my support line. Use your preferred flying and ground. Then fill the remaining slots with support pals. This setup scales later, well as you progress. Add another dedicated support difficult world boss that works perfectly. But this pal still lacks the ideal rainbow combat build. A strong rainbow passive can make a huge but to inherit that passive through breeding, one of the parents needs to carry it first. You might be thinking, why not just catch the required parent with that rainbow passive already on it? The odds are extremely low. So how do we increase our chances of finding rainbow passive? The answer is fishing. You may have noticed that some fishing spots have glowing effects, and some even have beams of light. Those visual effects matter exactly what we're looking for. Watch for green sparkles, purple sparkles, and blue or purple light beams. Plain purple sparkles. Those are the green sparkles indicate a normal pal. That can come with a random rainbow purple passive. Sparkles with a blue beam indicate a higher tier or alpha type with a chance of carrying strong passives. If you see a purple beam, that's an even more valuable target with a powerful since we're building combat pals. Combat-focused rainbow passive if you manage to fish out the exact passive and it matches the element of the combat pal you're building, you hit the jackpot. Next, we need to transfer those passives. Yakumo is important because its partner skill can increase the chance at captured wild pals. Share some of Yakumo's passive skills. So why not just transfer everything directly? That doesn't always work. In the current version, many high-end pals have restricted breeding rules. Powerful pals require specific. If you want to optimize one of those with rare passives like Legend or an Elemental Emperor passive, Yakumo can help bridge that gap. Now we have another problem. Fishing can be surprisingly difficult. I struggled with it at first too. It reminded me how painful rare fish farming can be. So, how do we improve on your fishing rod and the higher the tier? Your pal lineup also matters. Bring a pal with a fishing support partner, and it spawns combos on early option required. You can add another fishing support pal. You can find it in the frozen region. Their partner skills can improve your fishing success rate. Another support can increase the rewards you receive from fishing. Condense these support pals. How do we transfer passes to Yakumo? Don't worry, Yakumo has many breeding combinations. Use any valid parent combination. There are plenty of easy routes available. Choose the pair that best preserves your target. That's the method I use because I'm building this specific combat pal. One key rainbow passive on Yakumo. Once you hatch the correct step is complete, then use that Yakumo. Once you have the correct pair, breed them together, you'll have a better chance to produce your target pal with the desired rainbow passive. In theory, Palworld 1.0 also introduces breeding now has a small chance a mutated egg can hatch a different, stronger and may come with an exclusive mutation passive. For combat pals, immortality is an extremely powerful role. It provides lifesteal and strong sustain, greatly improving a combat and survivability. Deluxe vegetable cake can increase your chance of producing a mutation. Can mutation passes be inherited? Yes, they can. Breed from a pal carrying immortality and then use the appropriate that's how you can capture setup again. An extremely powerful endgame pals are already stat monsters and optimized passives push the same idea works for fast flying mounts. Put movement speed passives on your breeding setup, then transfer them to the mount you want. You can build an extremely fast flying pal. Pretty good, right? If you want to breed strong work pals instead, the same principles apply. Start with a parent that has useful breeding coverage. Choosing the right parent can unlock many different offspring combinations. Here's the breeding. Use the combination shown on screen. If your level is too low to catch the required pal, head to the desert settlement. You may be able to buy it from a black market. Check the shop inventory and
of
report.
fresh if necessary.
There are
but
even
there's a
stronger
good chance
late-game
you'll
options near
I'll
the
cover
world
those in
tree.
a later guide.
Now you'll run into another
Mass
problem.
breeding creates a
So
huge
what
number
should
of
you
extra
do?
pals.
Your pal
If you
box
need
fills
money,
sell the extra. Good breeding targets
some
can be
species
worth a
sell
lot.
for
If you don't
especially
need
good
money,
prices.
you can
Materials
process your
instead.
unwanted pals for
This can
useful
include
resources.
PAL souls and technology. Use the appropriate PAL processing facility and optimize your base around the system.
That lets you farm valuable resources.
The same principle applies to other breeding
Use the
resources.
right PAL setup for the
material you need.
Just remember, your breeding parents should carry the
Especially
best
that
breeding
improved
support
breeding
that
increases your overall
and your
output.
base also keep a 4-star PAL with the babysitter pass. Now your high output breeding and incubation base is
And that's it for today's breeding guide.
I think that covers all the major. If anything is still unclear, leave a comment below.